Well, it's been a while since I made a video, but I'm back today with a very exciting video here right on Capitol Bourbon. Today we got a brand new release here from Rising Tide Spirits. We got the Old Swagger aged 12-year bottle and bond, and we got a couple bottles here of the Old Stubborn. This one here I believe is the wheated version, yes, and this one here on my right is the high rye version. I'm super excited these bottles. I have tried the Old Stubborn batch 1 and batch 2 in the past, and I did really enjoy that at my friend's house. And when I heard that these bottles were being released, I had to jump on them. As you can tell, I got a few of them. I might have went a little bit overboard this time. I bought a few in Kentucky, which got shipped to me. Also got some DC and some on the local secondary markets as well that I was able to find from other people. So I was able to find a wide variety here, some Old Stubborn. So let's go ahead and try how these guys compare out and see which ones are worth it. Starting out on my left here again, guys, this one is the Old Swagger aged 12-year bottle and bond, 100 proof. This one comes in at $175 MSRP, which is pretty steep. As well as these Old Stubborns here, they're all single barrels, so they all are different depending on which barrel you get. I believe there's 15 different single barrels that they released for batch 3. These two ones here, again, are different single barrels, and this one here comes in at 123.3 proof, and this one on my right here comes at 136.26 proof. The high rye on my right here is something I'm very excited for, as this one is a shorty. It's only 55 bottles in the barrel, and this one is number 8. And this one here, again, the wheated one was 175 bottles. This one's number 38. So yeah, a little shorty barrel here. Definitely a little bit excited about that one. And the reason why is because as these barrels age, they lose a lot of water as well as some ethanol. And so what's left when you have the short barrels are these rich, deep, dark flavors that you get that are just more concentrated in every single bottle that you get out of that single barrel there. And if you thought the Old Swagger was expensive, each of these Old Stubborns here costs $250 MSRP if you can find it. And I believe on the secondary markets here, actually you can still find the Old Swagger as of right now on Bourbon Concierge in DC. I'm not sure if they do ship, but if you're looking for the Old Swagger, they do have that in stock as of right now. And these Old Stubborns, they're basically sold everywhere. The MSRP on these guys again was $250. In secondary, they're going for around $450, I believe, right now to $500. Maybe on some of the less desirable bottles and all that stuff, you can get it for around $400. And again, they did only release 15 barrels of Old Stubborn, so there's really not that much out there, but it's definitely kind of enticing to collect all 15 if you can find them and if you can afford that. I did hear some fantastic things here about the Old Stubborn, so again, I'm really excited to try that and share my notes with you guys. And they all come in this really, really nice tube here, really massive tube actually, probably twice the width as each other, but about the same height there. I did want to mention here the Old Stubborn, it does say that it is distilled by MGP here in Indiana, and these Old Swaggers here are distilled in West Virginia, which it's rumored that these are distilled by Smooth Ambler, as there's not many West Virginia distilleries about the 11 to 14 years ago that these guys are age dated. So it's rumored that these guys are Smooth Ambler, but I can't confirm that nor deny it. All right, well, let's go ahead and get these beautiful bottles out of these tubes right now. All right, and we got these fantastic looking bottles here out of the tubes. What a shame to keep them in the tubes, really. I did crack these guys open for Father's Day, was able to celebrate with my father and give him a little treat here of trying these kind of rare and really unique bottles that he's never even tried before. And as we can see here, they're just in a really fantastic, unique shaped bottle. It's embossed here in the bottom with Rising Tide. And in the middle here, it might be hard to see. Let's actually grab the Old Swagger. I think this is lightest of the bunch. Hope you guys can see that. Maybe I'll put some pictures up there, but there is a hand-blown glass, what I believe to be is a cardinal, the Rising Tide spirit there in the bottom of this bottle here. So that's pretty nice looking. Unfortunately, I don't have a flashlight on me. I think you could see it better if I had a flashlight, but I'll put some pictures on there if you can't see it, but absolutely fantastic looking bottle here. But that does probably contribute to the high price tag on these guys. I'm not sure how much the cost of each of these bottles would be, but you're definitely paying for some of that too, which honestly, in my opinion, isn't too bad because the bottle is part of the experience, and you get something unique and fantastic like this. It is worth paying a little bit more, in my opinion, for a nice bottle like this that you can use as a decanter or display on your shelves. However, as long as you're not just paying way too much for the packaging and for the bottle alone, and the juice in there is still worth the price point, I am not upset about that. And just an immediate observation here is if we go from my left to my right, it does start lighter, then it gets darker and really dark here with the 136 high rye here, which follows the proof point, 100 proof, 123, and 136, as well as the number of bottles per batch or number of bottles per barrel. The Old Swagger here is a small batch. Again, this one had about 175 bottles in it, and the one on my right here had 55 bottles. So as you can see, it's definitely a lot more concentrated and a lot more dark there. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and pour up the Old Swagger to start out and see how that one is. And these bottles feel just so fragile. You gotta be careful with them. Really nice cork there though, artificial cork. All right, Old Swagger 12-year here. Let's try it on the nose. Yeah, it's pretty good, wow. Getting a bunch of bright fruit here. Reminds me more of a cigar blend, like the Joseph Magnus cigar blend. We get a really well done fundamental bourbon smell, but then you just get a lot of fruit note there. Almost like a red fruit basket here, little apples, pineapple. Pretty bright, pretty sweet on the nose. Let's go ahead and see how this is on the palate. Wow, immediately there, I'm getting a lot of sweetness right on the tongue. There's a good amount of char, good amount of oak too, which is a lingering note and lasts for the medium finish there, I would say. Mouthfeel in this one isn't bad for 100 proof. I was expecting a little bit worse, but honestly, the mouthfeel and the thickness on this glass is not too bad. One more try. Yeah, honestly reminds me of a Joseph Magnus cigar blend, just at a little bit lower proof. Less red fruit and less of a fruit basket, I would say. Joseph Magnus to me is kind of like a fruit salad. This one, you're getting hints of raspberries, apples, bananas, maybe a little pineapple there too. Strawberries, raspberries. Kind of those brighter fruits there. This one's pretty enjoyable, such an easy drinker. This is something that I would absolutely have as an everyday pour if it was a lot cheaper there. The notes on the flavor there is everything I'm looking for in a really nicely well done bourbon, especially 100 proof points. This one is definitely not lacking in flavor and packs a huge punch coming in at only 100 proof. Wow, yeah, this one's addictive. I'm gonna finish this glass here for sure. And that's some really good bourbon. It's just a shame how high the price point is and how limited these guys are because, if it was 100, 120 bucks, I'd be probably buying a lot more of these guys and just storing them as backup. An everyday drinker, but also a special occasion bourbon here. This one does have some complexity, I would say, that you can kind of pick at there, here and there, but actually pretty rich there and full of flavor. So I'm really happy about this Old Swagger. And actually, I think after a few days of just having it open and sit on my shelf, it did open up there a little bit. I'm just getting a lot more complexity with this one, a lot richer, deeper bourbon, caramel, oak notes there. So really happy here with the Old Swagger. I definitely recommend this one. And I'm going to go ahead and give this one here a rating of 8.0, which is actually a really great and fantastic score. I think this Old Swagger definitely deserves that. Let's go ahead and move on though to the two Old Stubborns that we got up next. All right, and here we go with the Old Stubborn. The wheated here on my left is definitely pretty dark, as you can see. Definitely a really nice color there, like we always like here. And on my right here, the rye is just absolutely insanely dark. I can barely even see the little bird there at the bottom. I really have to hold it up to the light to even barely get a glimpse at it. Still can barely see that. Extremely dark here, the rye. Again, a shorty barrel, only 55 bottles in the barrel there. So let's just go ahead and start on the left with the wheated here. Wow, really unique on the nose. Extremely bright. If the one before had a fruity nose, this one is just straight apples, pineapple, or stone fruit. Maybe a little apricot in there too. Nose is really fantastic on this one. Smells like, kind of an artificial candy, to be honest. Really, really good. Super sweet. Okay, let's see how it is on the palate. I'm excited. Wow, yeah. The palate there is so intensely fruity. It's really like an artificial fruit candy in terms of the fruitness there. And my half brother actually put it really wisely. He said that it tasted like a Laffy Taffy, which I definitely agree with. I don't know which flavor though, but yeah, definitely kind of like an artificial, sweet, deeper kind of flavor, I would say. Really good on that palate. Insanely unique. Wow. I don't think I've ever tried anything as unique as the one here on the palate. If anything, I would say maybe like some of the Found North Canadian whiskeys, which tend to be pretty stone fruity and pretty heavy on the fruit for me, kind of tastes like this as well. Pretty bready as well, like a moist lemon poppy bread, I would say. Insanely good there. Okay, one more try here on the palate. That's so unique, so fantastic. 123 proof, doesn't drink like that at all. Drinks probably close to like 107, I would say. Let's go ahead and move on here to the Old Stubborn, the rye version. Let's see how it is on the nose. Once again, they're so dark on the nose. Okay, this one on the nose is more muted, more traditional bourbon. Some deep, rich caramel there. On the nose reminds me honestly of like a Russell's Reserve 15, just a bunch of oak here. Really deep, you kind of have to fight for it too. Really rich on the nose, wow, very complex and rich. You do have to stick your nose in there to find it and actually smell it, but it's super dark and super rich. Oak, caramel, vanilla, traditional bourbon, not getting too much rye here on the nose, which is a good thing. Okay, let's see how it is on the palate. Way different. You're not getting any fruit really on this one. I'm getting a lot of oak, char, sweet sugar, brown sugar, kind of more the traditional bourbon way you usually get in a bourbon. But I'm not getting any of that traditional rye spice, which for me is definitely a huge plus. Let's try it one more on the palate. It's really interesting here, really dark. Reminds me a little bit more of a mix between the Russell's 15 and the 2024 Coy Hill. It's giving me kind of that brown Foreman taste where it's just deep, rich, brown caramelized sugar, but it kind of tastes like maybe a hint of like caramelized plantains in there a little bit too, which Jack Daniel's is definitely known for, and some Brown Forman products. But it definitely reminds me a lot more of a Brown Forman product than anything else here really. It's so interesting and it's so complex. You could literally sit there and pick up the notes all day. It's a mix between Russell's 15, 2024 Coy Hill, and Michter's 10, I would say, Michter's 10 bourbon. Not really getting much rye there at all, which is quite interesting. Quite good in my opinion. 136 proof, does not drink like 136, probably drinks more like around the 120 proof. You do get some ethanol and some kick and some bite there on your tongue, but yeah, definitely nothing like 136 proof at all. Okay, well, I think both these bourbons here are absolutely fantastic. I think Old Stubborn's knocked out of the park. I haven't tried all their single barrels that they have to offer, but from what I can tell, they're really doing a good job here. And probably any bottle you'll get from Old Stubborn, it will be fantastic, at least for batch number 3. So for my rating here, I'm gonna go ahead and give the wheated one here an 8.5. It's super unique and super interesting to drink. I haven't had those flavors really in any other product or any other bourbon here. And it's just really well done, a pretty complex pour. And actually the mouthfeel on both these is pretty good. It's pretty oily and lasts a pretty long time. I wouldn't say it lasts as long as like a Russell's Reserve 15, but definitely lasts a pretty long time. Maybe medium to longer finish on these. But 8.5 is absolutely fantastic and some of the best bourbon that I've ever tried. It's just so unique, so interesting. Yeah, this is one that I would go back to and save for special occasions because you can't find anything like that. It's just so sweet, rich, fruity candy on that. That's insane. I've had nothing like that. Okay, and this old swagger here, the one on my right, the high rye, 136 proof, I'm going ahead and give this one also an 8.5 because I think it's really that fantastic. This one is a lot darker and a lot more complex. And it reminds me of the Russell's 15, the Coy Hill, the Michter's 10. Those are absolutely fantastic bottles and absolutely not upset with that at all. It is a little steep here on the price point though. Matches the MSRP there of the Russell's 15 with a few extra proof points, but a little bit less years on the age statement there. Absolutely fantastic also. Let's go ahead and finish it as well. That one also deserves an 8.5, absolutely great here. So again, to conclude it, absolutely fantastic bottles here, guys. If you can find this for MSRP, I would absolutely recommend it. Would I recommend you guys spending anything above MSRP? Honestly, if you see a review and they say that the single barrel kind of matches your palate or it's super unique, I would absolutely spend probably around $300 per bottle. That's maybe pushing it a little bit there too, maybe $280 I would say. There's so many other bottles on that price point that you can get that are absolutely fantastic and you know exactly what you're getting. So with these guys here, you are taking a little risk as they are single barrels and they do vary so widely there. Okay, and I wasn't gonna do this, but why not? Let's go ahead and just compare that one there to the 2024 Coy Hill that I got sitting up here. This is 125.4 proof. Let's go ahead and see what this one's got and how it compares. 2024, 125.4 Coy Hill. Let's see how it is. Oh gosh, yeah. I'm gonna say the Coy Hill beats it out. The Coy Hill is just brighter, more, I would say, I don't know how to describe it really. It's like a little bit more almond, cashew, brittle, which is huge brown sugar, underlying sugar cookie kind of thing there. So yeah, the Coy Hills are absolutely fantastic. I have a bunch of them because these are my favorite bottles ever. But yeah, unfortunately the Coy Hill does beat out the Old Stubborn there, even the 136 point whatever proof rye that we got. But it's honestly not far behind at all, really neck and neck honestly. But I think it's still worth it there for the price and even a little bit above the MSRP that you got. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you liked what you saw today, then please like, comment, subscribe. That helps the channel grow significantly and helps me continue to make these videos for you guys. I do plan to release a bunch more videos here in the summer. I'm sorry, it's been super busy for me. My schedule has just been tied up with work and personal life events, but please stay tuned as I do got a bunch of videos planned here coming up in the middle of the summer. Also, if this video gets a couple likes here, a couple comments, I will also crack open and review 2 other Old Stubborns I got here. Both these guys are actually the Founders exclusive series here, which as you can see by the sticker here, both these guys are Founders exclusive and they're different bottles here. They did, out of the 15, also release 3 barrels that were Founders exclusive, and I got 2 of them. Both these are the wheated version, coming out 121 proof, and then this one here comes out 130.5 proof. And apparently these are something extra special that the Founder released. So I'm excited to try these guys and crack these open. If you guys would like to see that, definitely leave a comment down below. I did not come up with the 3rd release here of the Founders exclusive, which is a rye. However, that one only had 17 bottles in that barrel there. So that one is pretty hard to find, and I wasn't able to find it at all, not even on secondary. No one's even selling it or really even talking about it because it's that elusive. But yeah, if you guys like this video, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you want to see the part 2 here with both these Founders exclusives. All right, and that does it for this video. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.